Hey guys, welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. Alright, let's get right into it. First, SPX. We have witnessed a nice bounce today. However, we are still trading under the daily 8. From the bounce, it was a understandable area to bounce from. If we were to look back on the daily, there is a trend line from the pandemic low to the recent stall. That brings us to right here. As well, there is a support. Should draw it up a little bit more. There is a support in that zone as well, so makes sense that we bounce from there. We held the GP, okay, the key GP to hold, which is from the low of right here to the high of the 1-to-1 extension. We held the key GP, so as of now there is a little bit of bull confidence. However, remember, we are still trading under the daily 8. For full bull confidence, we're gonna have to see a trade over and close over this daily ADMA. From there, we'll be looking at, first thing, probably back test of this wedge trend line, which depending on how long we take, if it's 1 to 2 days, we'll be looking at double top. What would you even call that? Quadruple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th time of touching this area. So overall, market is looking a little bit better. We are holding that GP. Did not close over it. Got bought right up. Now let's look at NAS. NAS is trading over the daily 8. And we are bouncing from the previous all-time high trend line. There's multiple ways to draw this, but I've chosen these 3 particular ways. And if we were to look at it on the daily, it was a perfect touch from this trend line, as well as the support at 12,750.9. Broke down under by 8 points, but touched the trend line and we went. So overall, NAS is still strong. Let's take a look at where we bounced from. GP as well. So we are holding that GP. Key price to hold. After hours, we are seeing a little bit further bull momentum. However, key is for SPX to break over the daily 8. Let's take a look at Dow. Still noticeably weaker. Are we bouncing from the GP as well? We have lost the GP on Dow and currently still somewhat extended from the daily 8. Or we were extended from a daily 8, now we're getting close to it. Daily 8 is catching up. Dow is noticeably a lot weaker than SPX and NAS. NAS leading the market, as witnessed in Microsoft, as well as Apple. Alright, US 10-year over 2-year. Finally made it over the resistance area, as well as the upper trend line. Now forming a big upper wick, looking to back test. Next is gold. Broke over. This gold is over. This is over. So gold is still in that channel. Gold remaining in this channel. On the weekly, nope. On the monthly might be a bull flag. Yeah, so monthly is still holding up that bull flag pattern. Gonna have to see a hold of this monthly 8. As for silver, we saw a breakout today from the wedge. Lack of follow through, upper wicks forming. waiting for that daily 8 to catch up. Big bear volume, unable to push down. So overall, the chart still looks like it's gonna continue. We're gonna have to watch for that continuation first thing tomorrow. Silver is looking good. US dollars touched that trend line, upper trend line today. This upper trend line, the yellow dashed one, touched it, slight rejection off of it right now. So anticipation is still remaining such as this. However, it might be a little bit different now because it took a little bit longer to play out. It's going to be something like that. Touch the trend line, potential revisit of the support, then a breakout. Based on US dollars, market is still the market is still anticipating a little bit more bear downside. All right, that's it for the market. Next is Bitcoin. Bitcoin still holding that channel, holding the GP, haven't even closed on it, wicking off of it. This bull divergence from January 22nd to January 27th is playing out, but we are seeing a huge upper wick. Cannot close over this resistance zone, anticipating further downside. Overall, on the monthly chart, still extremely bullish. On the weekly chart, we are still forming that bull flag. So if you're in there for the long term, use the weekly 8 as your guide. All right, that's it for the market. Let's get into hottest tickers. First one, Tesla. Nice bounce. Nice bounce today, closed right on the daily 8. We broke under the 800, seeing a lack of follow through from the bears. Great sign for the bulls, lots of lower wicks. However, we're going to need to close over this daily 8 for any bull confidence. Overall, still anticipating at the very minimum a touch of this lower trend line. We can see during previous weak markets touched support. So anticipating another touch somewhere around here. Okay, next is Amazon. Top watch. Perfect entry off of a 31.85, off by 45 cents. And now we're seeing that nice follow through today. Closing over the wedge on decent volume, not notable volume. This is anticipated to be a run into the earnings. Earnings is tomorrow after hours. That will dictate which direction Amazon is going to go. As of right now, we are still closing right under this resistance zone. If you are in the play, either play far out with commons or just pure lotto for earnings. Right now, the IV would be pretty jacked up. So if you're playing anything shorter term option wise, it's gonna require quite a big move for you to see any sort of profit. So keep that in mind. Key to break is this resistance zone between 3344 to 3366. Next is space. Nice follow through today. Very short term bull flag on 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hour bull flag, seeing confirmation today already. However, big upper wicks forming towards the end of the day. Profit taking. Overall, the chart is looking strong. We are in blue skies, and volume is there to justify further move. Extension target is going to have to be changed. Nope, not yet. We're still waiting for that 1 to 2 extension target. Let's take a look at the shorter term. Shorter term, there is now another trend line potentially forming. We'll be looking at something along that line. This is increasing momentum. Looking at a little bit of a lack of bull volume. So if market were to pull back, I don't imagine this chart to be able to hold up against the market pullback as well as it did last time. On the daily, no divergences, still decent volume. Earnings February 25th, so you still got 3 weeks out. Chart's looking great. Next, PLTR. Another top watch. Daily bull flag after a breakout on volume. Very nice consolidation. Bounce from GP today, forming a reversal hammer, potential reversal hammer. And holding the daily 8 on low bear volume. Noticeably lower than the bull volume. On the hourly, the trend line that we had formed before as support now is acting a little bit of a resistance, but low bear volume. Gonna want to see first sign, ideally tomorrow, maybe after we form a bull divergence to break that hourly 8. Then from there, a test of this trend line. On the daily, again, looks great. Bull flag. Not too worried about this. Next, Zoom. Another top watch. We are seeing a reversal at the one of the most ideal spots. After this breakout on decent volume, we got rejected on this trend line. That was formed from back here. Rejection, trading over the 88. Got shut down below the 88. Now we are seeing a bounce from the GP, from the low of the bounce to the high of the bounce. And we held the 1-to-1 extension on the way down. So decent spot to bounce from, and we are now closing over the 88. First sign of bull. Next, gonna have to break over this trend line in order for us to look towards this upper trend line. Charts looking like the inverse head and shoulder is starting to play out. Gonna want to see that follow through tomorrow into Wednesday. That's it for hottest tickers. Let's take a look at some requested tickers. First, BLNK. Very nice setup on BLNK. Noticeable trend line ever since November, beginning of November. Bounced 1, 2, 3 times. Now we are revisiting it on low bear volume. We are trading under the 88, but considering the low bear volume, there's nothing too much to worry about. This trend line is your guide if you're in the bull play. Just keep in mind of where the market's going. Seems like this ticker is a little bit weaker than the market in relative strength. We are seeing slight increase on the bear volume. Low risk entry though. So if you're eyeing this ticker, amazing spot for an entry. Easy stop under today's low, 46.72. All right, next, XPEV. We held that key support, 48 bucks. There's been 3 weeks off of it now. Slight increase on bear volume. No divergences. Still in that no man's land. If you are looking at a trade, 48 is very easy spot for entry. Just place your stop right below yesterday or Friday's low, 47. $1 risk to, even if we're just to go up to the upper trend line, you are looking at 8-to-1 risk to reward. Makes sense. And if we do break this wedge, that's a 40%, $44, 150. So upside is extremely high. $44, we'd be looking at 101. And if we're looking at 100 and some percent, we'd be looking at 130 at the very minimum. So upside on this chart looks amazing. Risk reward is there. However, personally, I would still anticipate a revisit, a third touch on this lower trend line. That would be the most ideal entry. Okay, next, NVAX. NOVAVAX. Charts in blue skies. After hours down a little bit. Volume is there to support a decent move. However, 1, 2, look for that third gap up. Looks like a chart that's going to present. Was this a gap up? 235.50. $3 gap up. Okay. Look for the third gap up. We are starting to get extended from the daily 8. Ideally, see that third gap up tomorrow. If you are in the position, make sure to take profit because we will be looking at downside on that third gap up. Way too extended from the daily 8. Chart's looking great though. Volume is telling that there's going to be higher prices to come. If you look back at the previous days that has had this kind of volume, a similar idea would be somewhere here. First gap right here, 1892 to 1962. Second gap, big gap on huge bull volume. Then the third gap. Then from there, started forming a bull flag. Chart was extremely strong back here. Did not see a huge profit taking. So if we see third gap up, make sure to take profit. Then from there, look for whether if we're forming a bull flag or if we're going to be having noticeable bear volume coming in. Ideally, see the gap up tomorrow. Next, J&J, Johnson & Johnson. Been a long time since I looked at this chart. We broke through the channel. 1 to 1.618 extension target has been reached. And we are seeing a pullback from it. Noticeable pullback. Let's see where the GP is going to bring us. Okay, so we are right on the GP from this last impulsive move. Based on the bear volume, looking at further downside. So we'll be anticipating the next GP. And if we were to run a fib from the low of this run, chart's not looking so great. If we were to run a fib from the low of 133, this whole move, we're potentially looking at a backtest of this upper trend line from the channel. Might take some time to play out. If not, let's see if this is noted. 157 to 158.50, notable zone to eye for inbounds. It's a 0.382 of the whole move, as well as a GP from the halfway move. If you aren't in the trade and looking for a bull play, this makes the most sense. 153.60 to 154.60. Lines up with clear previous resistance, so it makes sense we're going to backtest that area. This would be your target. All right, next, NIO. What did I say yesterday? Look for a bounce at 54.45. We bounced from 54.37, off by 8 cents. Big wick. Lines up support area, the bottom of the support, as well as a trend line. Seeing a very nice bounce from here. Gonna want to see that reversal tomorrow. Green candle. Close over the 88. That'll give confidence. But hope you watched the video yesterday. Exact entry, off by 8 cents. Cannot get better than that. Anyways, watch for the reversal tomorrow. Decreasing volume for a long time. Gonna want to see a follow through on this weekly bull flag. Last time we saw not a whole lot of follow through. This time we're gonna want to see much more. Trend line is catching up. Very nice setup. Might consider picking up a position for. Next, LI. This chart looks similar to XPEV. We are in the middle of no man's land, but bouncing from the GP and holding the trend line. Nice hold on this 31.20. Decreasing bear volume. Gonna want to see that reversal tomorrow. And the break of the wedge with a close over it. Charts are looking nice for reversal. Next, FUBO. Strong chart. Bears are unable to push it down. We went up to the rejection, the rejection zone, and came back down. Next day, big bear action, unable to even touch the 88. Following day, same thing, didn't touch the 88, gap up, sold off, did not touch. Today, extremely strong. Lower wick, closing at the high of day. Chart is looking at the very minimum, a revisit of this resistance zone. From there, if we were to pass the resistance zone, I would imagine that we're gonna be extended from the 88. Gonna have to form a higher low before breaking to new all-time highs. But chart looks extremely strong. Next, workhorse. Double rejection from the trend line. We can see resistance from before, support, 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 support. Another one broke down under resistance, and now serving as resistance again. Slight increasing on bull volume. No noticeable divergences. A little bit extended from the 88. Potential form a bull flag from here. Wait for the 88 to catch up unless big bull volume comes in. Over the long term, workhorse is looking like it wants to get a higher price. After hours, up higher. Next, ABNB. Airbnb. Most ideal entry. This GP that's coming up. That's from this low to the high, which lines up with previous resistance and support. 176.5 to 178.5. However, most ideal entry I'm looking at is the next GP down below. From this run, this whole run, except the IPO run, from this whole recent run, GP lines up with previous high, 170. So 2 confluences alongside the third confluence of trend line. This trend line has been holding us up, and now that we're seeing a close under the 88, would expect at the very minimum revisit of this GP. Most ideal entry, GP below 170. Keeping a very close eye on it, like the name, will likely take an entry. Next, BNGO. Extremely strong chart, still holding that 88. Bull flag forming from here. No divergences. Decreasing volume. Ideal setup for bull flag. Use the 88 as your guide. Looking up at further prices as long as the 88 holds. Weekly, a little bit extended from the weekly 8. Potential going sideways action for into the end of next week in order for weekly 8 to catch up. but overall chart is very strong as well. Next, BBBY, Bed Bath and Beyond. Weekly coming back. Weekly 8 is catching up. Huge upper wick after that huge bull volume last week. Big gap up and run, followed by a gap down and sell off. Interesting chart. Decreasing bear volume. Expecting, now that we've closed under the daily 8, expecting a revisit of the previous high around 27.50. Chart's looking a little bit weaker than ideal. Let's see where the GP brings us. Right on the low end of the GP right now. Just about to lose it. Chart's looking weak. Last but not least, Face Drive. Now, one of our members, Kwanzaa, brought it to my attention that this setup looks somewhat similar to Score, SCR. So let's take a look. It is not in the same sector, so just know that. Back, oh yeah, it's back here. So this circle's wrong. Alright, so something like that. You know, these two consolidations after the run up look somewhat similar. SCR Score was a little bit weaker. From there, solid pop, then a nice follow through. Here we saw Score, we saw a pop sideways, then nice follow through. Now we saw a pop sideways and potentially seeing that follow through. However, this candle, yesterday, Friday's candle, is, no, sorry, we're on the weekly chart. Last week's candle is a cause for concern. Indecision candle, spinning top alongside huge bear volume. So this week, anticipation would be an inside bar. Not anticipating a break of the high on 37.89. Likely to trade within last week's price action. And that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're looking to get out of debt or build that first pot of gold, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button in order to get updates on our new videos. Also, check out our website at totalcontroltraders.com. Stay safe and be in control. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.